afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for one of our Q&A sessions. Delighted that we've got we've got quite comprehensive questions that have come in recent weeks. We've also got a poll running in the chat, I believe, as well, and there's perfect opportunity for people to ask additional questions. So if we do have time, please put them in the chat and we'll answer them in due course. First and foremost, I'll just let you know that it is all recorded, this session, for you. So again, thank you very, very much for joining us today. The point of these sessions are to help answer any of the questions that you have prior to enrolling, prior to deciding on your next career opportunity. And it's a really, really useful opportunity for students to have these questions answered by people that arguably know best. So bearing that in mind, let me introduce the panels that we've got today. Zeba, do you want to start with yourself, please? That'd be great.
Yeah, of course. My name is Zeba, and I'm one of the enrollment management managers, and I look after the tech side of the learning people. So I'm really excited to be on this Q&A today and help you move forward with your future.
Thank you very much. Sophie, over to you.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm working the careers team, so I'm the senior career services consultant, and my role is to support you and my team to support people in their career changes, whether that's project management, tech, data, whatever that looks like. We're here to support and hopefully answer any questions that you guys have in terms of your career today. But yeah, very happy to be here as well.
Thanks, Sophie. We have also got Vita joining us. Hopefully at some point, she is currently on a call with one of our students at the moment, which, no offense, guys, that does take priority. They're already on their journey with us. So Vita will be with us in due course. Myself, I'm basically the same as Zeba, really, but with the project management side of things. And I've been doing the job now for nearly 12 and a half, 13 years. So in that time, I've seen pandemics, I've seen cost of living crises, Brexit. There's not a job climate or project management industry climate that I haven't encountered in the last 5 or 6 years. So between us, we should be able to answer all of your questions with some sort of authority and experience. Let's get stuck into the questions, please. Yeah, as I say, there is a poll running as well, so please do submit your answers there. Question 1, I'm thinking about enrolling after the new year. What January deals do you have? That's from Yasmin. I'm going to take this one, guys, if you're all right with that. I both like this question and have a slight issue with the question, both from a sort of a typical time of year perspective, but also a motivation perspective. We enroll hundreds of people every single month, and the reality is the people that are going to leave it until the new year are already going to be behind the curve. If you actually bite the bullet now and get up and running, there's so many reasons for that, but mainly you just knowing that you're going into next year with your career taken care of. By that point, you should be able to get an exam under your belt. You should be able to work with career services, and you should be able to look at really hitting that spring recruitment drive empowered and ready to go. You wait till January, you're then in a situation where you're going to have to start that process a good 8 to 10 weeks behind everybody else. So that's the main reason. Secondly, Black Friday. I really don't mind saying this. Education is no different than retail or hospitality or anything. There is always going to be offers going on. And in the 13 years that I've worked here, Black Friday has reared its head in the last 5 or 6, and we have some really compelling offers on at the moment. So please speak to your consultants about that. We've increased our part funding. We've got some free courses, depending on who you are and what your pathway looks like, or you've got this fantastic new offer about LinkedIn Premium. So yeah, speak to your consultants, because Black Friday offer means you don't want to wait until January anyway. Next question. Why do I need to buy a full pathway of courses? Can't I just pick one? That's a brilliant question. Zeba, I'm going to you to take the lead on this. I've got an opinion, as always, and I'm going to ask Sophie her opinion as well. But yeah, if you could take the lead on this one, Zeba, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. So this is a good question, as Matt's mentioned there. So it depends on where you're starting from and where you're looking to have your end goal as well. So it's not necessary you need to pick 5 courses, 2 courses, or 3. You could start with 1 and then build your pathway up from there. So it does all depend on what you're looking for. The best way to find out this is to have speak to your consultant, and they will be able to select and choose the right pathway for you, whether it is one, two, three, or four. So it does all depend on yourself. And Matt, what's your opinion?
No, I agree. The best thing about the advice you get from our team of experts is that it is based around you. You know, everybody will have different career paths, different experience levels. Like you may be 20 years into a career or 20 weeks into deciding on a new career. You will need different certifications. A lot of it also comes down to the industry you want to work in. Some of them require different qualifications, like and different types. Project management is a really good example where you have certain qualifications that deal with the day-to-day human elements of being a project manager, i.e., what makes you a good project manager. But they don't teach you how to use certain frameworks or certain bespoke project management methodologies. And you may end up working for a company that needs that as well as showing you're a good project manager. I think that, Sophie, that's where your expertise come in as well, as you're the one placing people into jobs or helping them. You must have some sort of opinion on that as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think, anyone, we work with all sorts of people, career changers that have no experience, and that's, on the tech side as well as the project management side. Or we have people that come to us that have far more experience. And when you have your career consultant phone call at the very beginning of your journey, they would assess that and see what kind of pathway is most suitable. But, from a project management point of view, if you've got no experience whatsoever, we'd encourage you to do the foundation course, but then you would want to go on to that. And that very much teaches the beginners, all the skills you need, all the basics, ready to then implement some of that in practice. Whereas actually, when you go into more of the practitioner course, actually, that's when you start to really do those in-world scenarios. You go out, you build that sort of far more practical real world projects that is going to help you out there. So, it's a competitive market out there. The more certifications that you have, the more appealing you are going to be in there for people going into tech. There's lots of different pathways, so I won't go into all of them. But particularly if you were thinking about going into cybersecurity, for example, just one IT fundamentals course isn't going to help that. It will start building that, but you'd want to go onto your security plus, you'd want to go onto your network plus. All of those courses are going to give you that much more specialized tools and skills and strategies to go in to a role within cybersecurity. So this is where I'd encourage you to speak to your career consultant because they are the experts in that area. But certainly from a career point of view, the more certifications you have, the more practical skills that you can develop through your labs, etc. That is what makes you stand out in what is such a competitive market in all of the kind of areas that we study in. I hope that answers that question for you, Matt.
Yeah, comprehensively. And it's about future-proofing your career, right?
Absolutely.
We speak about it so often that we probably take it for granted. We're not really interested in helping someone on this call get their next job. It's about future-proofing their career. I think that's something that's really, really important. You might look at one job advert and go, right, I need that certification. You might speak to a friend that goes, we only need that qualification or that certification. That might help you short term, but not long term as well. And I think that's something that's so, so important. So yeah, future proof. Don't just look at the future 6 months. Next question, please. I've got no relevant job experience. Can I still get a job? That is a brilliant question, and I'm going to hand that one over to Sophie.
In short, yes, absolutely. I would say probably every single student that I speak to come to us, whether that's project tech, unless they've worked in the field, and we do have some students that have done that. But 9 times out of 10, people think they have no relevant work experience. You absolutely do have relevant work experience. We've all got transferable skills, whether that's from uni, previous job roles, even your personal life. There's things that you can do in your personal life. So the very, very first thing we do in career services is we talk to you around your transferable skills, and our main role initially is to unpick those relevant skills. They might not feel relevant, but they can get a job. We've got examples of people that have worked in retail. They think they have no experience. They're now working in IT. They're working at the Royal Household in an IT role, which is fantastic. Projects, again, we get loads of people that come from a teaching background. These are just a few examples. We get bus drivers, postmen, you name it, we've got those career changes. And their biggest barrier is I've got no experience. They absolutely do. And through the courses that you're developing anyway, you're building those transferable skills through those courses. But actually, as part of our role, what we would do is unpick those transferable skills. And actually, we speak to employers a lot. A huge part of our role is to understand from employers what they're looking for. And now it's those transferable skills that are just as important as those hard skills. Not saying that the hard skills and the certifications, they're just as key, but those transferable skills that you get from some of those other roles that might not feel like you have relevant experience are just as important. And that's what we're here to do. We'll make sure they're showcased effectively on things like your CV, your LinkedIn profile, any of those profiles that you have, and especially when you go into those interview situations. So we probably get that every day, that question when people initially work with us, but I can almost guarantee you will not have no relevant work experience. It just wouldn't feel that it is directly within the field you're going into.
Absolutely. And I think that it's important to remember industry demand as well. You take project management, for example, the demand for project management over the next 10 years is the biggest I've seen. Like the local latest reports from the Project Management Institute, the Association of Project Management, put it in the top 3 growth areas for professions for the next 10 years. Employers recognize that there isn't enough people out there that have got project experience in job title. They know that they're going to have to hire people that are coming from project backgrounds. And that, like you said, you mentioned teaching, it could be retail, hospitality, operations, marketing, anything. And you've got so much more experience than you actually recognize. So
Yeah. The one thing I will say actually as well that I haven't mentioned, which we talk about a lot, is for career changes. A lot of people see that as a barrier. It isn't. For employers looking at someone going for a career change, particularly people that have gone through a career change that has invested in their study. You haven't just woken up on a Monday morning and thought, I don't want to work in this retail job anymore. Actually, you've taken the time to think about, I'm really keen to go down this route in tech. I'm really keen to go down this route in project. I've got some skills that I think might be helpful. So I'm going to invest in study. So you're not going into that job just thinking, oh, that looks all right. Actually, you've done your research. You've researched the certifications. You're upskilling yourself. And all of that is what will make you stand out in what is such a competitive job market. And that's the key thing. And that's the benefit. We talk a lot about the benefits of a career change. And that to me is the one thing. If you've got no experience, but you've invested in your study and you've thought about the roles that you're applying for, that is one of the most important things that employers look for. But that's what we're here to do. So that's what we'll help you with when you get to us.
I love that answer. I really do. Thank you. Next question, please. Oh, poll time. Okay. So you have to forgive me. The poll thing is new to me. How confident do you feel using AI? Okay, so there's a few options there. Please submit your answers. That'll be interesting to see where that one goes. And the next question is obviously linked into that as well. How will AI affect jobs in tech and project management? Right. Topical. Very, very topical. Liba, can you take the lead on the tech side of things and I'll do my best for the project management?
Yeah, perfect. So, regards to AI is everywhere now. So AI has 100% made an impact, not just in tech though. So, but across all industries, which Matt will touch on, PM as stated there. Recent stats is really big at the moment. So stats are really coming up and coming for the AI side. So recent stats have suggest that 54% of organizations say AI skills will now be required in all early career roles. So we actually have AI in almost all of our pathways as well. We have added AI qualifications, as I said, in all the pathways to future-proof all our students for the future. So this will give you an extra skill, extra qualification to be able to get that role you're looking for. And AI, as mentioned in those stats, it's up and coming. So we're just not in tech, but also in all industries. And Matt will touch on PM side where it's come into play there as well. So AI is very effective in tech and project management.
Yeah, just to dovetail on the stats there, with regard to project management, only less than 20% of people in project management have AI experience, but 82% of senior leaders see it having an impact on the industry. 70% use AI and see effective improvements. Nearly 50% of organizations plan to use it soon. But what we're looking at more importantly is actually the concerns that people have over this is going to impact their job. I think let's address the elephant in the room. it will never take away a human-led job. What it will do is it'll make you more efficient to those that are willing to embrace the change of AI in project management, for example. It will make you more efficient. It will make you more effective. It will give you more time to spend on the actual things that make a huge difference to the effectiveness and the outcomes of a project. So you do need to embrace it. You do need to do training in it. And we're delighted that all of our pathways now include it. But yeah, please make sure that you are taking it seriously, but don't be scared by it. Just embrace it. I think that's summarized as well by the results that we're getting through here. Overwhelmingly, well, more than half of you have said that you use it a bit. A quarter of you say that you understand it and use it well. A couple of you are AI experts. That's fantastic. But I think we're already showing that more than half the people on this call, nearly 2/3, in fact, aren't confident enough or only dabble in it. So yeah, it does show that you are going to have to embrace it as well to make sure that you remain as effective as you can be as a candidate. Next question, please. How long will it take me to get my job after studying? This is Victor. Sophie, can you take the lead on this as our careers expert, please?
Yeah, everyone asked this question. Actually, I did a webinar earlier on today, and someone asked me this exact question. It's different for everyone. If I said to you it's going to take you 4 weeks, I wouldn't be being honest, because you just don't know what the market's like. You don't know how long it takes for someone to interview. You don't know how long it's going to take us to do your CV. But what I will say is we have had students. I had a student the other day, was unemployed, so was fortunate enough to be in a position where she could invest all of her time into applying for jobs, which is a really fortunate position. Often that isn't the case for our students. She was really engaging. She attended all of our master classes. She took on all of our feedback, and she landed a job within 4 weeks. But some of our other students that have those more niche kind of, if someone wants to get into a certain industry, a certain area, it can take slightly longer. So the good news is you have with career services is there's no time frame when you've got license period, expiry dates, all that kind of stuff. We are here to support you for however long that is. And that could be that you land yourself an entry level role within the first couple of months, and then you continue to work with us until you land that more senior position. But yeah, on average, people tend to work with us. It's really hard to say, but I would say on average, anywhere between sort of four to 3 or 4 kind of months. But I think the key bit of advice I give to absolutely everyone is, if you are keen to get moving, is engage with us. We talk a lot about AI, and a lot of people think, a lot of our guidance is use AI to support you. 75% of employers are expecting you to use AI as part of your application forms, and that's what we support you with. So as long as you engage, you attend the master classes, you listen to our feedback, generally people move through the process quite fast. But my emphasis is it's on you. We're not there to do the work for you. We're career coaches. We want you to develop those skills and be successful out there in what is such a competitive market. So yeah, I'm sorry, I've probably not been specific in terms of time frame, but I think, everyone's job search is different, but you can do it quickly if you're willing to put in that work.
I don't think people should run away from that. I don't think people should be scared of that. It's an authentic process and it's a sincere one. The results speak for themselves. So, like 97, 98% success rate of people that engage with your services and complete the program, that is going to take some people shorter periods of time, and it's going to take some people longer periods of time. It depends on your experience and your career. But the only certainty is if you don't do it, you're still going to be in the same situation this time next year, let alone January. Yeah, I think that's great. Next question, please. Hello, Vita. You're joining us. Fantastic that you were dealing with a student, but welcome. If you want to introduce yourself, actually, before you answer this question.
Yeah.
The question here being, say, I've never studied online. What's your advice to someone studying with learning people from Omar? I think that's a great question. And I think it's a question that gets asked not enough. I think people take for granted going back into education well, you could take over from there, Vita.
Sure. Yeah, thank you, Matt. Sorry that I was a little bit late to the webinar. I was actually in a check-in call with one of my students, and it's kind of what I wanted to touch on anyway. So my name is Vita. I'm the senior student care consultant at Learning People. So my job is very much to check in with with students throughout their enrolment to make sure everyone's on track and committed to their studies. So I've got a few pieces of advice really, but the main one would be just really stay in contact with us and keep in touch with kind of your progress every step of the way. Even if that's, you've not, let's say you're not successful in your first exam attempt. We want to hear about that so we can support you through the process of your resit. So yeah, my main piece of advice would be stay in contact with us. So that is, when you get those emails to get your check-in calls book in with us and keep in contact and let us know how you're getting on, how many hours you're dedicating. Even from the first call, obviously we do study planning calls. So that is the most in-depth kind of call that we'll have with you, where we make sure, you've got all the tools you need to get started. There's nothing preventing you. And you know exactly how to navigate the platform. You know what goals you want to set, short-term, long-term. And you know exactly what you need to do to aim for the best possible success. So yeah, first piece of advice, keep in contact. Second piece of advice, I mean, we talk about habits for success in our orientation, but they're a really important thing to touch on. So that would be stay in touch with student care, reach out and ask for support. You've got support on the platform, you've got support externally as well. Luckily you'll get to career services as well once you've passed that first exam. Focus on your course content. So figure out what your learning style is, and we'll help you with that as well. We'll send over a quiz that will support you in that. But focus on, how best you're going to study. Because again, like Sophie was saying, everyone's different. So, if you're a practical led learner, you're going to engage with the practice labs more. You're going to benefit from probably having an extra screen so that you can practice alongside that video led learning. So it's tools that we can help you with, but being aware of that is going to help you study online the most efficient way, and get to those checkpoints that you've got, the goals and the checkpoints that you've set for yourself. And then the last one, which is really silly, but I have to remind my students of it quite a lot: put your phone away, put it on do not disturb, put it in a drawer, whatever you need to do to just focus your full attention on that time that you've set aside and that time that you're dedicating towards your future. Make sure that you're giving it your all, because if you're going to just study, you're not going to learn through osmosis. So you need to sit and really concentrate on that. And again, just check in with us and let us know how best we can support you. The more you stay in contact, the better we're going to be at supporting you. So that was a very mixed answer, but I hope that's kind of answered the question. I think those would be my main pieces of advice, really.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add to that, Vita, because your advice is spot on, and as somebody who's also doing training on the side, you've reminded me about the distractions of phones. How important would you say, putting you on the spot now, Vita, but you were late, so I don't feel that. All jokes aside, how important is it to speak to your loved ones and the people you live with about not distracting you as well?
Important.
Yeah.
So important. I think I have not even loved ones, but I think I had a student recently that was talking about their employer putting them on a 0-hour contract, but making them come in all the time because they wouldn't hire someone else. And I said, you need to be really upfront with that employer and discipline yourself in that you need to, you've invested this into your future. But I think, yeah, from a loved one's perspective, if you've got family in the house, make sure that they are aware that those are your study sessions. And as much as you love them, keep them away from that. And actually, the more you involve them in the conversation, I think the more they'll be willing and provide that kind of safe space for you to study. We talk about, I mean, in consultations, don't we, Matt, about have you told your family about this? Are they supportive of you studying? It's a massive part of that initial conversation. And it's something that carries over in student care as well, for sure, just to make sure that they are still remaining supportive. We're making sure that they are kind of also holding you accountable. I have a lot of students who have their wives or have their partners or family members saying oh no, they've told me that I can't go out today because I'm studying, and they kind of stick to that. Yeah, no, it's
great.
Yeah, it's a full open conversation. So yeah, make sure that your loved ones are supportive of it, and yeah, just discipline yourself as well, as much as you can.
Look, your future is their future a lot of the time, and I think that's so important. Get them involved, get them on board, and have the conversation, and then you build up some healthy boundaries between yourselves. And I think it's great. I think really solid advice. So thank you, Vita. Next question is Christmas. Christmas season is expensive for me. Do I need to pay for the courses up front? Great question, Sebastian, and I'm glad you've asked it, because heartbreakingly, some people would assume you have to pay your tuition fees in full, and therefore they delay making an important decision. I'm glad you've asked the question. Zeba, I'm going to put this one to you. Do people need to pay up front, or can they spread the payments?
Absolutely not. So they can spread the payment. So we have plenty of finance options and partners for our students. So you'll be pleased to know you don't have to spend £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 up front. You can spread that across however months we can do for you. So the best way to find out is to book a consultation with one of our career consultants, and they will support you and find the right pathway and then find the right finance options for you as well. So absolutely not. You don't need to pay up front, so you don't need to worry about that. And we have plenty of deposit side of things as well. So you'll be able to pay zero deposit, or if you do have enough funds yourself, you can put a deposit down to help those monthly payments come down as well. So with your career goals and your budget, we can work out the rest for you. So rest assured, we have got that in hand. So all you need to do is have a consultation with one of our career consultants, and they will advise on the best one for you. So you don't have to wait after Christmas. You can start now.
Absolutely. Everyone's financial situation is different, as is their career situation. So all I ask is be honest with your consultant. Don't sit there and go, yeah, I can afford this. I can do this. My credit's fantastic. Please be honest with your consultant because they want to help you. Before we go on to the last question, there has been a brilliant question that's come in the chat from Shahram, I think. Hopefully I'll pronounce that correctly, about having decades of experience and now kind of feeling really a bit overlooked and feeling that it's quite hard to get the opportunities that your experience deserves. That's one thing that hasn't changed in nearly 13 years of working here. That will always be the case. And without sounding too, I don't know what the word is, that sounds like someone that definitely needs the help of a careers expert and a careers coach in the form of someone like Sophie and one of her team. So I think what I'll do is I'll take, if hopefully you're already engaged with us in some shape or form. If not, I will find a way to reach out to you with your details, and we can pick up your consultation or take it from there. So it's a great question. Thank you for sharing that with us. In terms of the next question, poll time. Okay. The polls. Okay. Fantastic. So, have you ever had a career consultation with us before? If no, do you think you could benefit one? I don't think that needs to go to a poll because everyone should have had a consultation. And if you haven't, you're definitely going to benefit from it. So, but please do put your answers in there. Thank you. I've seen cheaper deals out there. Why should I choose Learning People? It's probably the number one question we get asked. I think we should go around and do this one by one with our own opinions about why people should choose Learning People. Vita, if I start for you, what's the number one reason you think people should choose LP?
I think in terms of how we operate, it's much more personal. And that's across the board, whether you're having your initial conversation with one of our career consultants all the way through to with career services. We are people and we want to hear from you and we want to engage with you. I think without naming names, there are some learning providers out there that will just sell you the course and kind of leave you to it. We don't do that. We want to hear how you're getting on, as I've said, throughout your enrollment. Our job is to make sure that you get to those checkpoints. And then even after that, like we love to stay in touch with our students and just make sure that again, they're aiming for the best possible success. And yeah, ultimately, we all have a shared goal of getting you into a role that you really enjoy and that you love. And I think that goes across the board for everyone in our teams. It's not the goal of selling you a course. It's to get you into the role and to make sure that you feel supported on every step of that journey.
Fantastic. Sophie, your reason?
I always do this, but I'm just going to talk about my team because, I feel, that's what I can speak best about. But, all joking aside, I think it particularly as once you get to career services, I've worked in similar roles for a long time, but our goal isn't around just getting you into a job. You asked a question earlier around how long is it going to take us? I know there was a question in the box and I've got loads of experience. All of us are the reason why we do the job and the reason why we're here is because we're really passionate around seeing people succeed. So for me, the reason why I would say, choose us is because of the personalized service. We listen to you. We want you to do well. And you hear it in the office, but what we celebrate is when we hear, working with a student earlier, he's got the dream. Can't remember what the role is now. It's one of my colleagues, but the job that he has wanted to do for years and years and years, he's finally got it. And this is someone at the back end of his career. He's suddenly invested in his studies and he's now in a job that he absolutely loves. and it's taken time to get there. So, you know, we're not here to just get you into any job. We're here to listen to you, coach you. We build really solid relationships with you. You know, someone called me up the other day and he told me he got the job before he rang his wife. And I was like, that might get you into a little bit of trouble. But that will just give you the example of, you know, why the kind of relationships we build with our students. We're not just ringing you up and saying, you know, apply for this job. We've seen it. Actually, we coach, we build relationships, and we are genuinely want the best out of what you studied. So it'll become, you know, all joking aside, he probably did go on and tell his wife, I'm sure, but that just shows the kind of relationship that we build with our students. We really want you to do well, and people are excited to tell us, and we're excited to work with them. So yeah, we're definitely, and we're all like that in the career team. So definitely that would be why I would choose the learning people.
Fantastic answer. Zeba?
Yeah, just to echo what Sophie and Vita said as well there. So we are very engaging, we are very people focused as well. So it's in the title, Learning People. So regards to my team is going on the tech side. So I can give you a really good example of what's happened this morning. So one of my career consultants had a success with one of their students, and they've landed a job. And she got the email come through, and she was over the moon over it. And that's the career consultant. It's not just the student. So it's all round recognition for student as a career consultant as well. So it's a positive factor for all of us within the business to help the student as well. So it's a feel good factor for all of us, and we're all humans. We all like recognition. We all like the positive feedback. And the whole point of us is to make sure our students are successful and happy and positive. So that's why you should choose us. And we're here to help more than ever.
Yeah, I think I was, as you were one by one talking, I was like, I'm going to run out of things to say myself, which is very rare. But if we go summarize that, it's about shared goals. It's about passion, about success. I'd also add the knowledge that you get from us is sincere and better than anybody else out there. Like, my team alone, between them, has probably, trying to work out in my head, probably between them got over 50, 60 years combined consulting experience. You won't get that elsewhere. We know from the moment that you pick up the phone to us, you're going to get better, more authentic, sincere advice as well. And that's what it's about. It really is. It's about we're not afraid to tell you what you need to hear rather than what you want to hear or what's the easiest thing to sell you. So I think it's kind of if you want to have the support and the quality of a big market leader in this industry, but you actually want to feel like you're getting advice from friends and family, like ethos of a business, that's what Learning People is. And we're incredibly proud of that. So anybody that answered on that poll that they don't know if a career consultation will benefit them, just have the courage, leave your details. I think will pleasantly surprise you. I'm pretty certain that's it. Yeah, thank you for joining us, guys. I really enjoyed that. My only advice is now pick up the phone to your careers consultants. You don't have to wait for them to call you. Be annoying, pick up the phone, leave them missed calls. If you want a fresh consultation, leave your details. We are busy with Black Friday, but we should be in contact with you inside 24 hours as well. But yeah, who knows? Hopefully this consultation's given one of you or more of you, the encouragement to go on and change your career. That's what it's about. All right. So thank you very much, everyone. Thanks, Vita, Zeba, and Sophie as well. And yeah, we look forward to celebrating your own success in the months to come. Take care.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.